What is this one sexual fact everyone would benefit knowing? Sometimes a dude just can't bust a nut. It's not his partner's fault. It just happens. Certain frogs can change genders if there is a lack of males present. Please keep this in mind when using frog DNA to complete you dinosaur clones. Anything going inside of you should have a flared base. Don't be offended if somebody steers you in the right direction. Learn from it and apply it to your next time or next partner. May cause pregnancy. Don't skip foreplay. Follow your partner's directions and you'll get them there much more easily. Put a pillow under her butt. Rubber duckies are easy to clean after sex. You can also just bring them in the bath with you and they'll get clean that way too. Just don't buy the squeaking kinds because they are harder to keep clean inside. Communication is key. Peeing and cleaning up after sex are both really important. It really does help you and your partner avoid UTIs, and cleaning up with a quick rinse leave you feeling and smelling a little more refreshed. Enjoy it rather than focusing on what you're doing. Not necessarily sexual, but vaginal discharge can be so acidic that it bleaches your undies. Nobody tells you that, but it's normal. If you can't afford a condom, you definitely can't afford to have kids. Don't be afraid to be vocal, and I don't just mean dirty talk. If you're enjoying yourself, I wanna know. I don't need full-on pornster dialogue, but gasps of pleasure and wow, when I'm slobbing on his knob get me so hype and so turned on. Sex is the epitome of non-verbal communication, but sighs and moans and gasps just heighten the intensity. If you're doing something and your partner starts saying yes or right there or basically anything encouraging, it means keep doing exactly what you're doing at exactly the same pace you're doing it, until the encouragement stops, subsides, or they come. If you press the G-spot and the clit at the same time, it takes a screenshot. Learn how to use your hands and your mouth tongue as well as your equipment. Oral manual stimulation can be just as intense as sex. Treat my balls like they were delicate little baby bunnies yearning for hugs and caresses. Treat my dick like it was a $2 whore you caught stealing $10. Do not try to do anal without discussing it with your partner first. Nobody likes surprise anal, especially without lube. If a male clonefish's partner is killed, they'll have a sex transition and then mate with their kid. It's the dark side of Finding Nemo. Sticking your fingers in someone? Wash your hands and clip and file your nails first. Mashable article about sex are just cherry-picked Askreddit threads with some generic sex therapist quotes to glue them together. Don't use 2 condoms, the friction makes it less safe than just wearing 1 condom. For girls mostly to know this, if we can't get it up, it's not you, we are either tired, drunk, or both. It's not you, trust me, we want to so much but can't. Talk to your partner about what they like. Don't assume they enjoy what your favorite porn star does. Kids, wrap it before you tap it. I know this one gets said a lot, but it's important. If she says don't stop, do not fucking stop. Don't try to get creative and make it better. Just do exactly what you're doing. Your first time is probably gonna suck. Things are much more enjoyable if you have sex before you go out to dinner. No bloating, no upset stomachs, etc. Also, baby wipes make great before after sex wipes. Vagina farts are normal and nothing to be embarrassed about. Also, should have put the serious tag on this one. Shower sex is not that good. Water is a terrible lubricant. One person is going to be cold. It's usually uncomfortable and cramped. It's really easy to slip and hurt yourself. Instead, just have sex before and shower together afterwards. Fellas, harder does not mean faster, and hum at various frequencies when you've got a mouthful down south. Gets in every time. Letting your man come on your face gives you superpowers. Caution, if done unprotected, may result in 18 years of extreme torment. Edit. Due to the comments about this, I would like to change 18 years to many years. Pull out anal beads like you're starting a lawnmower. Edit. Thanks for the gold. Considering men are standing up to sexual abuse, just because he is erected doesn't mean he wants it. Nice try, person who don't know this one sexual fact everyone benefits knowing. Getting a handy while doing 75 miles per hour on the freeway could be hazardous. If you use condoms, do the oral first. Not after. I'm sure at least one of you will find out why the hard way. No means no. If you're in a relationship longer than a year, there will be times when sex is boring, feels like a chore, isn't as interesting or fun. You have to work at it. That goes against common sense because you would think it gets easier, but most people start to take it for granted. You gotta find ways to excite each other, stay committed to foreplay, and make time for it. Sex is something you do with a girl, not to her. If your partner drops hints that they want to have sex, either have sex or tell them you're not in the mood for sex. Don't just pretend you don't notice the hints they want to bone. If you don't want to have sex, that's fine, but don't leave them hanging either way. You can't smell anal porn. Honestly, there is a comic called Boo. It's sex. It's free to read, and though it is mostly about female, there are male sex information as well. Actually fun to read and has taught so much about relationships, STD, and of course, sex. Don't yank on the titties like you claim the slots. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Clitoris does not require fast and vigorous rubbing. Slow and steady wins the race. Condoms used to be made from sheep's intestines. For my first time I was so nervous, I wore the whole sheep. Knowledge is power. Educate yourself on your preferred sex's anatomical features and you'll learn about every part that can make them feel good. And on that account, since sex is such an important part of adult life and relationships, invest hours into that, not minutes. Also, Francis Bacon. Tightness has nothing to do with how many people they've slept with, size of the dicks they've had. It's pretty much all down to arousal. By that logic, any woman who's had a child would have a huge gaping hole in them. So if your mate is bragging about the girl he shagged being so tight, it most likely means she was not that turned on. Be prepared for noises. A lot of noises. Funny, weird, or embarrassing ones. There are plenty. Never ever laugh about it unless the person's source of the sounds finds it funny too. Go pee after sex. Especially you ladies. It'll keep your pipes flushed, which will cut down on UTIs. This is the trick urologists hate. Everybody is different. Doesn't matter that you love it, that your ex loved it, that you hated it, that your ex hated it. Doesn't matter if the last 510,100 partners you had loved hated something. Every single person has different sexual needs and desires. You need to pay attention to your partner's non-verbal cues and be able to communicate about your own desires and ask for feedback about theirs. When you're never gonna have sex in your life but you're still reading this just in case. The little man's at the front of the canoe. When he says don't stop, don't stop, don't go faster, don't go slower, don't stop. Keep doing exactly what you're doing, how you're doing it, for the love of all that is good in this world. Don't stop, don't stop. In missionary, put a pillow under her butt. This puts a lot less strain on her hips and allows you a better entrance angle. Trust me, best advice I've ever gotten. Men can have multiple orgasms too, you can keep going fellas. If they say they don't like how condoms feel and that he can just pull out, don't fuck them. The risk of a child's sexual disease is not worth going in raw. Coconut oil is awesome. What's not awesome? Coconut oil and condoms. Unless you want to get preggers, find a different lube. Lack of vitamin D isn't due to a lack of sun. No matter how much you tell yourself you're totally keeping it casual and you're totally fine, you are going to develop a connection to that person, and maybe even some feelings. The clitoris is not a doorbell. Spontaneous anal can lead to a shitty dick if the woman has a turd honking for the right of way. Guys can do butt stuff and it's not gay. Everyone likes it different. It doesn't hurt to ask and make sure you both leave satisfied. You don't always have to fuck her hard. In fact, sometimes that's not right to do. Porn is not a true reflection of a real sex life unless you are a deviant, faced with tears of joy. Remember to pee after sex. Most antidepressants will not affect erection, but will make it very very hard to come. For some reason, you just can't get there easily on antidepressants. Men can do kegels too, and the benefits are boundless. Everything from more powerful orgasms and harder erections to more forceful ejaculation and prevention of impotence. Have a towel. Doesn't matter if you're a girl, boy, straight or gay, trust me, have a towel. Anal beads were not meant to be pulled on the same way you would start a lawnmower. Orgasms are learned behavior. If you can achieve an orgasm through PIV sex, subsequent attempts will be easier. Don't get the lube and toothpaste mixed up after. The longer the foreplay, the better the sex. The 9 shallow, 1 deep rhythm. It's an ancient Eastern sexual technique and it works wonders. The shallow strokes build up some sort of vacuum in the vagina, and when you go in deep every 9th stroke it just feels amazing for both involved. Start with 9 circles, 9 shallow 1 deep x 9, and after that just go for it and enjoy.